Hi, my name is Melanie Goodhue. I'm the owner of Pulse Wealth Management, and I have the pleasure of being joined once again with Brittany Singh, and she is a wills and real estate lawyer. Welcome, Brittany.
Hi, Melanie. Thank you so much for having me again.
My pleasure. So last time we met, we talked about wills. What are they? Why you need one, whether you're single, in a relationship, or have children. What is a survivorship application and why it's important, and then what the average cost is. So if you missed that and you're interested, feel free to scroll down on our Facebook page and find it. Today, we're going to talk all about powers of attorney. So we're going to cover what are they, what can happen if someone becomes incapacitated and you don't have one, and then what the average cost or cost range of that is. You ready to jump in, Brittany?
Yes. So powers of attorney, they're also very important. It's a legal document as well, and we can call it a living document. So it applies while you're alive, whereas the will applies when you pass away. So if you become incapacitated, that's the most common type of power of attorney. And there's a power of attorney for personal care and then a power of attorney for property. So the personal care power of attorney would cover healthcare decisions. So with your doctors or if you're in a retirement home, personal hygiene, where you're living, those kinds of decisions. And then a power of attorney for property is everything to do with your financial. So vehicles, bank accounts, real property like houses, that would govern those kinds of decisions. So you can choose who you would like to be your attorney for power. It could be a friend, a family member, and basically if you ever were incapacitated, like if you were in a car accident, you have a disease such as Alzheimer's and it's really progressed, you would use this document, your attorney of power would, and they would be able to make the decisions for your bank accounts, or if you had to make decisions with your doctor, they could act on your behalf. And what's really neat is there are general templates for the powers of attorney, but you can also customize based on certain wishes. So for personal care, we see people put in like they don't want to be admitted to a certain type of facility. They'd like to live at home for as long as they can. Or there's decisions about, like pulling the plug, unfortunately, but you can specify like if you don't want to be in a vegetative state or how you would want to handle it. So it's a really good thing to have because if you are incapacitated, then you can't speak for yourself, you can't say what your wishes are, but these documents would show exactly what you want.
Yeah, that's really important too, because not only is it important for the person who may be incapacitated so that, exactly what they would want to happen in that situation will happen, but also think about the turmoil that's now not on the shoulders of the partner while they're already going through such an awful situation. That is significantly compounded if then they have to try and figure out what would my partner want? Would they want to still live in this situation, or would they want to be taken off the ventilator? Would they want to go into facility and for me to move on, or would they want to, me to be there right till the very end? And so a lot of those things are really awful things to try and figure out when at the same time you're dealing with such an awful situation. So having a power of attorney not only helps the person who the document is about, but it's a really nice, courteous thing that you can do for your partner as well. So what can happen if you don't have one of those documents? Can someone, like if my husband didn't have one, and I mean, we have one, but if he didn't have one and God forbid something should happen, would I be able to still be able to make his medical decisions and talk to doctors and things like that?
Yeah, I think like it with married spouses, it's easier because you have the legal title of being married, but it does obviously get difficult, like say in contentious family situations where I don't know if someone was common law and then the mom wants to make those decisions. I'm not sure like what authority like a doctor would listen to. It would probably be maybe the mom based on just I think they would go by like legal authority by your relation to them. I know for some people who, have disabilities where we can't I can't say they have testamentary capacity, which is the ability to understand what's in the documents and understand who you're picking and like say it back to me. If someone lacks that, then we can't always like do the documents because unfortunately we can't prove that. And I know that we often refer them to the office of the public guardian and trustee to get more information because the government does have that in place for, situations where these powers of attorneys aren't in place and somebody needs someone to act on their behalf. So in
And
those
again, is that really
situations,
what you want, right?
yeah, no,
Not
exactly.
ideal. So yeah, I guess your point is it's kind of like insurance. You need it before you need it. Because once you need it, once you're incapacitated, you're not going to be able to sign those documents, right? So it's really important to have those in place ahead of time for everyone involved. And when it comes to not having it, do you really want your maybe your wife or your husband and your mom or your dad are going at it and who's no, that's awful. So yeah, powers of attorney are incredibly important, just as important as having a will. And I would venture even to say, especially if you're single on your own, I just feel like that importance is even just a little bit higher. um, Anyway, I think we've covered a lot of what we wanted to talk about. Now, before we finish up, what's the average cost or cost range of having a power of attorney done up? And is it usually separate from a will or is it done together?
It's usually done together. We usually do a package, but if you want it done on your own, it's usually around 150 to $200 plus tax, and that would include the power of attorney for personal care and the continuing power of attorney for property. But
Hmm.
then if you package it with the wills, it's $400 to $600 plus tax with a will. So it's a
Which
better bang for your buck, I guess.
that is for sure. And I connect with a number of lawyers, and I have to say, Brittany, and also for people who are listening, your fees are incredibly reasonable. I've seen them upwards of 2,000 for all four documents for a couple. So definitely if you're watching this video and you're interested and this is something that's been weighing on your mind for a while and oh yeah, I gotta do it, don't wait. Trust me. This is something that you'll want to have in place when and if you need it. So I'm going to throw Brittany's information in the description or comments below. That way, if you want to connect with her and see, if wills and powers of attorney are right for you and go ahead and get them done, you can connect with her. Thank you so much, Brittany. I really appreciate you coming by and talking to us about powers of attorney.
Thank you, Melanie.
My pleasure.